Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends for another special feeding episode. This time we're going to be feeding my fourth Warmaster. And of course, this is the Warmaster of Magic, Warmaster Sherezar. Sherezar is of course legendary. Sherezar, as I said, is magic. Sherezar is very spiritual, unfortunately apparently dead, but very, very exclusive. Sherezar showed up with 2 open rune slots, which is better than just 1, but you know, we're going to fix that. After all, we're talking about a Warmaster here, and as I've heard, a pretty darn good one. So let's just find a quick home here. Yeah, with the leprechaun. Well, that looked like fun. Alright, so let's check him out here. He's over here. This is Heka. No, it isn't Heka. We're going to find a good name for him, and I'm sure my viewers are going to help me with that. So this is the Warmaster Sherezar. Sherezar is, of course, magical, since he is the Warmaster of Magic. Sherezar is a Warmaster, therefore has a 35% chance to not have bad things happen to him, right? Also, he has the area trait of True Vision, which means his team cannot miss. This is a very good thing. He also has a status cast of protection against cooldown activation, which can be very, very useful, depending on who's on the other side of the field there, right? And, of course, True Vision precision is doubled, right? So he gives it to everybody, and we're just getting a reminder here that, yeah, when you got True Vision, you're not going to miss. All right, let's look at the stats here. The strength is okay, but I mean, that's not what Sherezar actually does. Life is pretty good. Life's pretty good. It's going to be about like 13,000 or something like that, maybe a little bit more. Speed is very good. All right, let's check out the initial skills. Telekinetic Throw deals very low physical damage to one enemy. Have I ever seen anything that said very low? I can't think of any. Not even a common. All right, and then we have Purified Magic. Deals low magic damage to one enemy. Well, clearly not a damage dealer, right? But then again, we knew that going in. But more importantly, let's check out this special skill. 3 Wishes. Removes negative status effects from all allies. Gives 100% life and stamina to all allies. Removes positive status effects from all enemies. Deals moderate magic damage to all enemies. Deactivates cooldowns on all allies. Okay, so there's a whole lot going on there, and it's good for us, not so good for them. Sherezar sacrificed himself in the final battle of the Warmasters against the Titans in a heroic move that guaranteed the victory of the Warmasters. But now his friend and fellow Warmaster, Necromancer, has resurrected him. However, he's changed. It's like death hasn't left his body. He's back. He's working for us, and that's what really matters, right? So let's get him up to his final evolution at level 4 by stuffing tomatoes into him, right? All right, there he is. He's dead, but he's back. And we want skills, so let's get going, right? All right, first one, of course, at level 7, and here it is. Sorcerer's Negation. Removes positive status effects from one enemy, applies block positive effects to all enemies. Ooh, that's actually a nice place to start there. That's some good support. And he's happy about that. Alright, so let's continue to level 10 for another skill. Apprentice's Scroll, and I think there's a P missing. 50% chance of activating all cooldowns on one enemy. Alright, well that's obviously something we're not going to be keeping, right? I don't want no 50%, especially when you really can't tell if it actually happened because there's no usual effect or anything like that. So you wouldn't know if it actually worked. We're going to get better at that, I'm pretty sure about that. So let's continue to level 15. And Curse of Weakness. Deals moderate magic damage to one enemy, 50% chance of applying curse to one enemy. Well, I mean, obviously it's better than that, right? Maybe I should have replaced the very low one, right? I'm sure we'll get something for that. Alright, so let's get to level 20. Curse of the Elders. Deals moderate magic damage to all enemies. Applies curse to all enemies. Well, you know, I think we can probably call that an upgrade. I would be very hard-pressed to think I'm going to remove that, because I don't think I am. Alright, so let's continue to level 25 for some more skills. Master Scroll. Activates all cooldowns on one enemy. Well, that's much better. Yes, go with a Master Scroll instead of an Apprentice Scroll, especially if it's missing a P. Okay, so he's getting upgrades. We need new skills, though. Come on. Let's go to level 30 and another skill. Magic Theft. Removes all negative status effects from one ally. Gives one extra turn to itself. I'm going to put that there for now. I don't know if I'm going to keep that. I don't know. I guess the circumstances are going to have to dictate that. Yeah, I mean, just getting an extra turn for the point of getting an extra turn isn't really very useful. We'll see. We'll see what his final skills look like, because I have a feeling they're going to be good. Alright, so let's continue to level 35. Curse of Decay. Deals heavy magic damage to all enemies. Applies curse to all enemies. Well, you know what? I was mistaken. I'm actually replacing this one. Who knew? Alright, so let's continue to level 40. Looking for some good ones. Wizard's Negation. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Removes positive status effects from all enemies. Applies block positive effects to all enemies. So that's kind of what we had here, right? Previously, but a group version, and I'm going to keep it. Yeah, because that is... that's very good. That's very good there. All right, I'm missing something really big, though. And I hope it's coming up next, because there's only one skill left, is there? Curse of the Elders, and that's not the one I'm talking about. All right, so let's continue. Come on, we need the big one, dude. The big one. Great Dispel. Removes all effects from all monsters. Gives one extra turn to itself. Oh. That's interesting. That's interesting. Is that the one we've been looking for? Alright, well, I'm going to put that there for now. I was kind of expecting something else. Maybe something came out of order or something. I don't know. Anyway, maybe there is nothing else. Alright, that's the curse again. Alright, so what we're going to do is over to 60. Magic Theft. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and we're going to look around. Alright, that's the lower curse one. Obviously, I'm not parting with that one because I have the better one, right? I got heavy magic damage. It's a 2-round cooldown, but you know, the thing about it is you're not going to do that one every 2 rounds because you would be removing the last stage of the curse. So it's better to just have one that's got a 2-round. Alright, Magic Theft. Alright, let's see what else we have here. Moderate special damage to all enemies, removes positive status effects from all enemies, applies block positive. Alright, so this one is very good for support. You know, the damage isn't going to be too terrific, but you're taking away positive status effects and you're making it so they can't get them back, right? And that's going to last for 3 turns. So that's pretty strong right there. Alright, and the last one we had here was activate all cooldowns on one enemy. Alright. So what was the first one then again? The first one was remove all effects from all monsters and gives 1 extra turn to itself. I don't know. That's an interesting question. Curse of Weakness. I was actually kind of expecting him to have some kind of a group thing, you know, but I guess basically he's more or less support than anything else, although he does obviously do some damage too. But I was kind of expecting something else. Now, should I keep this one? This one is going to remove positive status effects from yourself, your own team, you know? And we got this one, we got this one. This is a good one right here. And then we have this one against one enemy, right? The other one I had for that... Well, first of all, what about this one? Removes all negative status effects from one ally. Do I want to use that one instead of this one? See, the thing about this first one is it doesn't use any stamina, which can be very useful. Alright, there was this one. Okay, 50% chance of activating all cooldowns on one enemy. Obviously, I don't want that one. That's not going to take up a spot. I'd rather being able to actually do that down here. Right? Activate all cooldowns, just period. Just done. I was kind of expecting something for the group, but I guess that's just not what he does. This one here just seems dangerous, but it could actually be very useful. If your guys get a lot of negative effects and they have a lot of positive effects, you can just remove it all in one shot. So this is kind of like a clearing the deck, getting rid of everything. And then you could just go and, I guess, do Cursive Decay on top of that, or do this one. You know, it really depends on the situation, I suppose. All right, I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. All right, let's look at his final stats. His strength isn't bad. You know, he is a Warmaster, though. It's important to keep that in mind. But 2,200 generally isn't bad. The life is a hair above 13,000, kind of where I thought it was going to be. And his speed, 2275, is pretty darn good. That's actually denial speed. Even though he's really not denialish, he's got the one activation of cooldowns on a single target. And then he's got just stuff to mess with the other side. I'd probably want support stuff for this guy. Maybe support speed, maybe other things. Probably just go full support speed with him, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, let's look at his skills and then figure this out. All right, we'll start with this one. Great Dispel. Removes all effects from all monsters, gives one extra turn to itself. All right, well, this is going to remove positive stuff from your team members as well, including his status cast, right? Where is his status cast again? His status cast is going to be cooldowns protection, right? So it would remove that as well. I don't believe it would remove the True Vision because it's kind of like a pseudo trait for them. It's not really an effect. So it wouldn't remove that, but it'll remove positive, negative from both your team and their team. So, you know, use that at your own risk, you know. If your team has given them a lot of torture effects and things like that and you use this skill, you're probably going to remove them. So, yeah, use this skill at your own risk. Then we have this one. Curse of Decay. Deals heavy magic damage to all enemies. Applies curse to all enemies. All right, well, it does good damage, right? Heavy damage. It's magic damage as well. And it's going to give curse. Curse, of course, is a torture effect that does an enormous amount of damage after 3 turns. It says 1 turn, but it actually has 3 phases. The last one, I believe, does 40% health damage. So the 3 of them together will do a lot of damage. If you're damaging them in the meantime, they're probably going to be dead. So that's a very good one. There was another one, a lower one, that did moderate damage with a 1-round cooldown. And that one really didn't make a lot of sense because you need the curse to go through its full 3 turns. So having a 2-round cooldown and doing more damage is just a better idea here. And then we have this one. Wizard's Negation. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Removes positive status effects from all enemies. Applies block positive effects to all enemies. And that one is for 3 turns. So you're going to hit the whole group. You're going to do special damage to them, right? You're going to remove all their positive status effects, you know, unless, of course, it had been applied by a relic or something like that. Then you're going to put an effect on them, which is going to make it so they can't have positive effects on them for 3 turns, unless they manage to get rid of this effect themselves. So that means they can't shield themselves, they can't put like a regeneration on, or they can't do anything like that. That's actually pretty powerful right there in terms of support. So they're just going to have to sit there and die if bad things are happening to them. Very good skill indeed. And then we have this one. Master Scroll. Activates all cooldowns on one enemy. Requires cooldown. Alright, so that's a 2-round cooldown. So every 3 turns you can just pick one guy and do that. But it doesn't have to be every 3 turns because after all, he could do this, get the extra turn, and then be able to do that sooner. The same thing with all of these skills, right? I was a little surprised that he didn't have any kind of a group thing. But again, you know, maybe that's not what they kind of want the War Masters to do. Although Thalassa does have that as well. So I was a little put off by that. But the thing about it is his skills are really good. His stats are really good. And obviously his trait is really good as well. So like I was saying before, in terms of his runes, I wouldn't go denial with him just because denial speed, that is. Because he isn't denial. So since he's a War Master, you really want him supporting the others, like he's going to do with his trait. So I might just go with either support speed across the board, 2 support speeds, and then maybe a support damage or something like that. I don't know, you could put like a regular speed on him if you want. It's just that I don't know whether or not he benefits as much for that. I think him supporting the team is probably a better thing. But you never know. I may play with that. Anyway, this is the Warmaster Sherezar, and of course he's very good. He's very good indeed. We're going to have to do some kind of testing with him in the future. I'm already behind on one testing video, and that team is set. I'm not changing it. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for now. So thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it, and play games because games are fun. See ya.